Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest issue of Comic Book Gentlemen, the podcast where we use our decades of being giant nerds to discuss the most divisive issues in the fandom. I'm your host, Greg, joined by my constant co-host, Dave. Dave, how's it going?
I'm excited for this one.
Excited for this one, yes. This is our annual tradition. End of the year, we talk about our favorite comic books that we read in 2025.
Yes.
Not necessarily that came out this year.
No.
If you're new here, that's the rule. It's just you have to read it in 2025. And we're gonna
as per our rules, you could cheat and read Sandman.
Exactly,
and that
right?
might make the list.
It might make the list. You never know. But yeah, we made a list of our top 5. We also have some honorable mentions. But let's start at the very top. How was your year with comic books this year? How are you feeling?
It was a little bit of a mixed bag, I think. A lot of the stuff that a lot of the stuff that I have collected wholeheartedly for the longest time kind of struggled. Mm-hmm. And then I started finding more and more stuff outside of what I normally would read.
Yeah, you're branching out a little bit.
Well, not just branching out, but just going, hey, you know what? I haven't read this in a while. Like even some stuff like, for instance, I had read Conan before, and now there's a new Conan out, so it's like, okay, maybe I'll go back and I'll try reading that again. So it was an interesting year in that respect, because I think there were some certainly less highs than there were a lot more lows. Yeah. On I think your mainstream comic books.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I completely agree with you. I think for me it was like in years past we usually had a couple series that were just like 10 out of 10. I'll recommend this to anybody. You know, we had like Immortal Hulk. I had a Daredevil was really good. Thor. Like we usually had those series that you and I kind of agreed on. Like these are the best. You got to check them out. And this year didn't feel like there was that many that were really like every issue is amazing. You got to check it out. New reader friendly. It felt like there were runs that had good issues, and then the next issue was just kind of blah. Yeah. Or like it would be intermittent that way. Or so for me that was the exact same way when I was making my list. It wasn't necessarily like, oh, they're all so good, how do I rank them? It was like, they're all good. And like, how do I rank them that way? So it's a little bit disappointing this year, but like you said, we also did kind of branch out a little bit and beyond what we normally read and kind of go that way.
And I think it was difficult, and I'm not sure how you approached it, and that would be my question to you is how did you approach it? How did you, like, what were the criteria that you were looking for to say, yeah, this qualifies as a good book?
I think for me, what it came down to was like good story through multiple issues. Yes, there were some that were like, this one issue was fantastic, I loved it, but when I looked at it as a whole, it was just that one star that was shining across it. But like I try to find those series that had like hit after hit at least more than once than just that, or I looked for something that was just completely like, wow, I didn't see that coming at all. That's kind of what I was going for. What were you going for?
For me, it was like, I mean, I always look at the writer. Now, I think, funny enough, I look at the writer first, and if it's a really good writer, the art, the better the writer, the less the art has to matter to me. The art then at that point becomes more of a plus if it's a really good artist. But I feel like you can get away with like maybe a lesser tier artist if you've got a really good writer and the story's compelling. But I mean, I also find there's a difference between the writer and how they write and the story that they're telling. Yeah. Because there's the writers that write like Bendis and Claremont who just love dialogue. Yep. Which I find a little too much sometimes. So I like that kind of in between. And then on the artist side, I still look at the art. I mean, if they have an A+ artist, I'm immediately drawn to it because obviously it's a visual, visual thing with comics. And then after that, it's finally the third component is the story. Is it good? Like, does it make sense? Do the characters make, rational choices that make sense, depending on the story that's being told? Unfortunately with some of them, like, how much is it being interrupted by miniseries? Like that kind of stuff. So I look at those 3 criteria and then go forward from there. Like, I would have said I used to look at it specifically for certain superheroes. Yeah. Now it's like, superheroes be damned, that's off to the side. It could be anything.
Well, how's the team? Team on Tom. My question for you, and you can say you don't want to spoil. No. Do you have any mainline Marvel DC on your list?
You'll have to wait and see.
Okay, I'm looking at my list right now. I'm not sure about one of them, but I don't think any of them. I think they're all alternate universe stuff. If I have Marvel, which is again,
Yeah.
that's something that everybody's been saying this year is like the ultimate and absolute universes are so good.
Yeah.
What's going on with mainline? Like it's crazy to me. But anyways, let's get into it before I start spoiling it. You want to go first? You want me to go first? What do you
Sure,
think?
I'll go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I had little bit of a. There's a little bit of a cheat here.
Okay.
At number 5 is I had the absolute universe.
Okay, just as
At
a
number
whole.
5. However, for me, it's led by Absolute Superman.
Interesting. Okay.
And with Jason Aaron as writer, Rafa Sandoval as the artist, primary artist. There is another artist that fills in with the occasional issue. I found usually when Brainiac was like a mainstay in it, and he draws Brainiac really creepy,
Really?
so it really added to it. But it was one of those comics, like, I've never read Superman. I've never really cared for Superman. Like, he was always a cool character, maybe like when he was in like Justice League, or if he was like guest appearancing in a Batman comic or something like that. But for me, it was like the first time I was actually like, I like this, like, especially in this weird world that they've created, you know, because of Darkseid. It just captured me, and I was like, this is interesting. I found it compelling, and one of the things that I found with all of these comics on my list is they were the ones that I was like, I either had a hard time putting down, or I was like chomping at the bit for the next one. And I found that with Superman more than the rest, even though I've very much, like, as I've read more of like Batman, I've really started to enjoy Batman, but I've also read The Flash, The Green Lantern, like, just to get a better feel. And now they're doing the KO, which I haven't gotten quite into yet.
Yeah.
It's refreshing, it's new, it's bold, and it's I felt like the whole universe was on there, with, for me, Superman at the top.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, Jason Aaron's one of my all-time favorites, which one day we
Yes.
have to do that, our like favorite writers of all time. But how far along are you with Superman? Like, how many issues?
Right up to the recent recent one that was on DC Universe. I think it's issue number 13.
Okay, because I've only read the first graphic novel you gave me, and it was good. Like, Absolutes I definitely considered for my list. It was just one of those things. I feel like the first 5 issues for all of them were kind of like, you know, just getting the ball rolling, and they hadn't fully hit that stride yet. To really
I would agree. Like, most of them was like, not, I wouldn't call it a slog, but it was like one of those things like, okay, I'm having to learn a lot about what the differences are, or why their world is like this, or it's slightly different. But once they kind of got past that, you know, origin story, type stuff, it's been bold and different, and entertaining more than anything.
That's really cool. Yeah. So we've talked about the main 3, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman, in the previous episode. Make sure you go check that out. Yeah. Out of the other ones you've read, which other one, like, is sticking out to you?
I like both the Flash and the Green Lantern.
Oh, really?
Like, how they approached it was just not what I was expecting when I first got in there, especially with the Green Lantern one. The Flash, with the primary Flash being Wally, was again different for me, because when I was more familiar with it, it was Barry Allen. So it's like, no, the focus is more on Wally, and it's just very different, especially for someone that's not been knee deep in those particular comics. It's just been an entertaining kind of twist.
That's awesome.
To the stories.
I'm very excited to get back into Absolute and keep going. My number 5, so keeping on with the alternate universes, as well as you mentioned earlier, sometimes you just get that amazing artist, and it's like, I don't care what the writers do when this artist is amazing. Mine was Ultimate Wolverine by Chris Condon and Alessandro Cappuccio. Dude, I love Cappuccio. Like, he did that run on Moon Knight with Jed McKay, also amazing. I highly recommend. But I think for me, Ultimate Wolverine, what I loved about it was specifically the first arc of, like, you know, you're in this ultimate universe. You're like, what's going on? All the mutants are in freaking Russia, other than Japan, but like they're in Russia. You have Wolverine. You're going back to the gritty weapon. The fact that he's mixed with Winter Soldier is so hype. The costume is fantastic. The art's fantastic. Really, I think for me, I really like the beginning arc because it was just so dark and gritty. You're trying to figure out what's going on. Now that they've added in, you know, and later, spoilers a little bit for Ultimate Wolverine, but as they start adding in more X-Men, you're kind of like, oh, what's going, like, how's he going to break free? It's kind of like, you know, it kind of waters down to their kind of more generic X-Men story. But the first arc, especially when he goes against Nightcrawler and Mystique and he's just going nuts, it's so cool. I think the only reason for me it's not higher on my list is because as a Ultimate comic, you expect it to be a little bit more different. In the end, it's not that much different than Weapon X. Like if you compare it to his days in Weapon X, it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
The only main difference is just that it's Russian, you know. I guess is the big difference. But then the artwork is just so good. That really took it over the edge.
I'm very much looking forward to seeing his work on Nova, because he's moved over to Nova with Jed McKay.
Jed McKay, dude, they're such a good team.
So and Nova, I've always been he's always been one of those 2B superheroes that I've followed. So I'm very interested to see that work. But I agree with you. Like Wolverine, Ultimate Wolverine was just such a blast. And the first 3, 4, 5 issues were just like, oh my god, this is crazy.
Yeah. No, I'm very excited because we're getting to the end of the Ultimate Universe. So it's like, what are we doing? I just read the issue. Again, sorry for the spoilers, but where they showed the Sentinel X mutants.
Oh yeah.
Where Cyclops' head is in the Sentinel and shoot is man, it's so metal.
Yeah. Like I said, what I found with that one is I would say out of all of them so far, that one's taken some bold, shocking kind of what. Oh,
and the Rasputin kids are such assholes.
Oh yeah.
Magic and Colossus.
The worst versions of them.
Oh man, it's so good. But yeah, what's your number 4?
My number 4 was not a DC.
Okay.
Not a Marvel.
What? No.
Not an Image.
What?
Titan Comics.
Okay.
Conan the Barbarian.
Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah. Writer Jim Zub, who I got to meet at one of the Comic-Cons, great guy. Was willing to, it made me feel at least like he was willing to just sit there and talk Conan with me all day, if I wanted to. And then asked me after I bought the first, I think it was the first 3 or 4 that I bought, because he autographed them for me. And then he was like, yeah, read these and come back tomorrow and talk to me. And tell me what you thought.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So Jim Zub, obviously the writer. The main artist is Roberto Del Torre. He did some work on Daredevil that was during Shadowland. That was awesome. Mm-hmm. So I was immediately I recognized the art, and I was like, oh, this is good. And the other artist that does, they kind of switch back and forth per 5 or 6 issues, is Doug Braithwaite, who's also very good.
Yeah.
So what I enjoyed about the book was it's gritty. It's got that very Conan, what I remember Conan the Barbarian and the Savage Conan and King of Conan being back in the day when they used to come in the magazines, and it was black and white, and the art style is very similar, and it feels very Conan, and you can tell even just meeting, and this is one of the benefits of the chance of actually getting to talk to Zub was how into Conan he was.
Yeah.
And the fact that Titan has full rights on it. And they're doing it right, so they're putting an artist and a writer on it, and they're just staying in there, and they're grinding through these books. I think they're up to 5 right now. They're just great for someone who very much enjoyed Conan back in the day. I'm so happy to see them doing it again. Again, another book that every time one comes out, I'm like, okay, put everything else aside. I gotta get on this.
We gotta get on it. No, I mentioned this our last episode, and again, make sure to go check it out. But I'm super excited to get into Conan. Yeah. Heard nothing but great things about it, and so I'm like, okay, let me actually try Conan for once. For my number 4, I also am not Marvel, DC, Image, or anything. I went manga. I always got to sneak a manga in there for you. I always got to.
But this is comic books.
I know. It's basically comic. Same thing. Yeah. My number 4 is Chainsaw Man, specifically Volume 10. So, Chainsaw Man, I can't remember if I've told you anything about this. Do you know anything about Chainsaw Man?
I do, from my niece.
Yeah, okay.
who in a very, very innocent way was describing to me Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, okay.
And I was just, all I could do was look at my wife at the time and go, what the because what she was describing to me just sounded so out of there.
Yes.
But big fan.
Yeah, so Chainsaw Man, before I ever watched the anime or read the manga, people were just hyping it up. They're just like, this is the next coming of manga Jesus, type of thing. It's so good. So I had high expectations. I found the first few volumes, I was like, okay, it's good, but it's not living up to as much hype as I want it to.
Yeah.
But then I got to volume 10. So I won't spoil anything, but there's a little bit of a mystery throughout the story about where's he getting his powers from, what does it mean, how is he dealing with it, and there's something called the door that he keeps having these visions of a door, what's going on. And in volume 10 they finally show the door, what's behind the door, and they reveal the real villain of the whole season, and it just goes balls to the walls crazy. Like whatever your niece told you about,
Yeah.
imagine times 10.
Oh,
Like it goes absolutely insane. And in the writer artist Tatsuki Fujimoto, some of the best artwork I've ever seen. And what he does amazing compared to like comic book artists and other manga artists is the way he does his panels is next level. Like he always finds a way, especially with the big spreads, to break through the panels as the character and but still flow into the next panel and still carrying the action. Like there's some spreads in there. I'm like, this blew me away. I was like, what is this? So like volume 10 for me really like encapsulated like this is why this is considered like the new best manga anime of all time. The issue I had was then the next volume, the ending of like the first major arc, I wasn't a big fan of. So I was like, come on, of course. Like that's why I specifically wanted to shout out volume 10.
Yeah.
Just balls to the walls action. All the things are getting revealed about like the crazy mysteries, and it's absolutely insane. So highly recommend if you're a manga reader, go check it out. Again, first arc a little bit slow, but it picks up and goes absolutely crazy. So
nice.
Got to sneak in my manga.
Yeah. It was that one, and it was it Tokyo Ghoul?
Yeah, Tokyo Ghoul.
Yeah, it was the other one she was explaining to us, and I was just like, what is?
Which I don't.
Or should you be reading this?
Yeah, I don't fuck with Tokyo Ghoul. Okay, yeah. That's a 14-year-old teenager comic book for sure. So yeah. Okay, number 3.
Number 3 came out of nowhere.
Okay.
In the last month.
Oh really?
Literally.
Last minute.
In the last minute, just made a barge and made such an impression on me that it not only just like made the list, but jumped all the way up to 3.
Wow.
And kicked one of the other ones off the list.
Wow.
And I can't believe how much I enjoyed this book, because every time I think about it, I'm like, I feel like a child. I feel like if I tell somebody that they have to read this book, they're gonna look at me like, what are you 11 trapped in a 50-year-old's body? It is Bug Wars.
Wow. Another
image,
another Jason Aaron book.
Yes.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Jason Aaron's is the writer. The artist, who's the artist right through the whole thing, is Mahmoud Azrar. Mm-hmm. He used to do X-Men. I'm a big fan of his work. I like his work. His work is top notch in this book.
Wow.
Like it is so much better than a lot of the stuff that I've seen him do before. So my pitch for this book is imagine somebody, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Okay.
Had a baby with Conan the Barbarian. And that is Bug Wars.
Okay.
It was just so entertaining. I couldn't put it down. I tore through this book because it made me laugh just because of like some of the names and some of the things that he made. But he's got like this whole incredible world built out with all these insects and insect people. And it's so interesting. And it all, not a spoiler alert because literally in the front cover, but it all takes place in the backyard of the family house.
That's so funny.
And it's so Conan meets Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
That's amazing.
But it was funny. It made me laugh so many times. Just Jason Aaron's names for stuff was just great.
So is it rated R Conan, or is it like mixed in the middle of...
heads are flying left, right, and center. There's slight nudity in it.
Okay.
There's just a lot of swearing. Like I don't know who gave him the green light, just said like, do whatever you want, and that's what he did. It's really good. And I even enjoyed, like, at the very end of each issue, he wrote like a little manuscript thing of like, okay, like, so these are the types of ants that you can find in this backyard. And it describes them, which matches an actual description of the ant, but then he takes it a little further to say like what kind of psychopaths they are or whatever they are in the backyard. And I enjoyed it. It's so silly. It's so silly, but I just couldn't stop reading. It was so good.
This sounds like, now that you described that end part, it's like he had a pitch for Ant-Man, and Marvel was like, hell no, what are you talking about?
Yeah, this sounds dumb.
I'm going to Image. I'm going nuts.
I ended up getting it because I like you, I like Aaron's, and started reading it and was just like, holy crap, that's so cool, so entertaining.
I'm excited to check it out. So you said it snuck in last minute.
Yeah, I did.
My number 3, I've been thinking about since January. So I knew for sure, I was like, okay, this is going to be on my list no matter what, but I don't know where it's going to place. So this is actually funny. It was on your top 5 last year.
Okay.
I don't remember which number, but you were like, this is amazing. And I was like, I've never heard of this. What are you talking about? So then you gave it to me. I read it in January, and I've been thinking about it all the time, which is Justice.
Yeah.
DC's Justice by Alex Ross, Jim Krueger, and Doug Braithwaite.
Yes.
Yeah. So you told me about this, and I was like, what are you talking about? I've never heard of this before in my life.
It's so unknown. I didn't even know. I actually got it as a mistake because I think it was on like my Amazon list, and for some reason I was looking for like a deluxe version of Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
And I saw it, and it was just like, oh, it's Alex Ross. That's got to be it. And I clicked it.
Yeah.
And then Tara bought it for me, and I remember opening it, and I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
Like Justice?
and I would agree with you. It's definitely Kingdom Come coded. Like it's like the spiritual successor. But like I think for me, what really stood out to it is just like the story of, the villains won. Mm-hmm. Like the absolute insanity of like, what if all the villains finally came together in DC and took out the superheroes, and not even just like take them out, but also like get the citizens on their side of like, we're right. Yeah. Come join us. Because to me, it really comes down to the key idea of like, you guys are the most powerful superhero, people, not just superheroes, people on the freaking planet, and you haven't solved world hunger, you haven't solved like climate change. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, what have you done?
Like, and it blew my mind. And like, I was just like,
you literally wait till something happens, and then you come and help.
You wait until we fuck it up, and then you do something. You should be doing this all the time, and that's something that I've always screamed at the top of my lung is an issue with superhero comics. Yeah. It's like you got like Storm in the Marvel, like you have all these people that could easily change the world like a snap of their fingers, and they just don't. They just like go catch purse snatchers, and you're like, what are you doing? And that's why I like comics like Invincible, where they take it to the next mile of like, what do we do with somebody? Anyways, but yeah, Justice was so out of nowhere. I was like, I've never heard of this. It was so good. The art was amazing, and it really reminded me of, again, I say this all the time, but like animated Justice League. Like it was so good compared to that. The only thing that didn't push it higher on my list was I can't believe none of the heroes die. Like they bait and switch every single one.
Absolutely agree with you. I mean, I think if they would have had that, climactic death, like some kind of like. But again, I think it was like, it's one of those short story, forums. And I agree with you. That would have just sent it over the
even
the edge.
Aquaman. Like, he'll someone who nobody gives a shit about.
Why is it always Aquaman?
I know, but like even his son and like.
Why not a little Plastic Man?
Yeah, exactly. Everybody loves Plastic Man. What are you talking about? The only thing I'm confused about was like, was it was it part of the mainstay universe, or was it like an offshoot?
I got a feeling like it was a part of the mainstay, but it was kind of like a story that's being told in and of itself. I don't know how much that translated back into the comics.
But it's so funny to me that like Kingdom Come is considered one of the greatest DC stories of all time, but nobody talks about Justice. Like I've never heard of it once. It blows my. And it's again Alex Ross. Like why did that not get more? I was blown away. But yeah, I read it. I was like, wow, this does deserve to be top 5. Like this is pretty good. Yeah. But yeah, keep going. Number 2. We're getting to the top.
Number 2, DC. Fell into this by accident, sorta.
Okay.
Didn't expect, read kind of the first series storyline, and then I just kept reading. And a year later, I was like, actually, this is one of my favorite comic books right now. So funny. Which is Batman.
Wow, really?
It started with Zdarsky, with his first run on it with Failsafe.
Yep.
Read through his entire run. The only disjointed part about it was the fact that Jim Lee and Jeff Loeb came on, and they were doing Hush 2.
Okay.
Which they did the first, I think it was 3 or 4 issues, and then all of a sudden there was some kind of a delay, and I don't know what the delay. I want to blame it on Jim Lee because he's infamously late with his art.
I mean, it's worth it.
But
though.
It's worth it. But all of a sudden now it's like the new series of Batman has started, and Hush hasn't finished. Like it's finished. But it hasn't finished coming out yet.
Yeah.
So that was a little disjointed. But I love the new creative team of Matt Fraction, and of course the artist who's been on it pretty much right through, Jimenez, is he's just an amazing Batman. There's an amazing group of villains, but it's just a comic that it was just like for some reason I was like it was like I don't know, it was like your gateway drug. I started. And then I just found myself every month going, let's read some more of this Batman. Let's read some more. Let's read some more. And I just kept reading it.
Wow.
And what I appreciated about it was the fact that they just kept consistent with a good writer and a good artist. Yeah. Good writer, good artist. And even when somebody stepped in to fill in for the odd issue here and there, it was still good.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just, that's what I would expect out of like your top notch, your home run hitter in your company with Batman. I would expect the same thing out of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Is that's the consistency that you're getting out of the art and the writing. And it's just been entertaining. I've never been somebody that was like, oh, I got to clamor over reading Batman.
Yeah.
Like I read Hush and I read, you know,
the big ones.
various other ones. But yeah, this just as a month-to-month issue has been really, really good. And something I look forward to every month when I get my comics is like, where's the Batman issue?
And the fact that it sustained even with the creator change is huge.
Yeah.
Like that almost never happens. Like
no.
Usually the second the creator changes, you're like, including myself, I'm like, I'm out of there, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think is different about these storylines that you're really resonating with compared to other Batman?
I think it's twofold. It's like I've read a lot of Batman like one-shotty kind of stuff, but this is like reading it on a month-to-month basis is a little different.
Yeah.
And then I feel like Zdarsky especially like took it in a different direction. Okay. Like it did some different stuff with it, and it's just mainly just the quality of the writing. It's like oh, this is good. Like I know Zdarsky got kicked around a little bit for some of the run that he did. I didn't think it was that bad, but again, I'm not a Batman purist, so who knows whose bridge he burned. But at the end of the day, I thought he did a really good job. And then the transition to he's leaving, and we're gonna have, you know, just to fill in for 5 or 6 issue Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee, and then they leave, and then you know you get Jimenez back, who's his art is fantastic. And then the writing of Matt Fraction is just I really like Matt Fraction. I liked a lot of the work that he's done, and I like the work that he's doing with Batman.
Yeah, and I think like you said, like Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, all those big people, there's where you put your good talent on. Yeah. And it sounds like DC finally figured that out of like, let's just get our big talent on there, let's see what they can do with it, right? And it's something Marvel needs to figure out.
Yeah, because I mean, you got the character. Most people like Batman, you know, at the very least like Batman, and then he's got a great, fantastic rogues gallery. And then if you can add to that, like I think the addition of Failsafe was amazing. You know, I think the addition of what Matt Fraction's doing with these characters that now he's introducing. Unfortunately, at this point, like Matt's only had 3 issues so far, but that I've looked at, but it's just refreshing and new. You still got that like, oh, I want to see the Penguin, or I want to see Joker, or I want to see the classics, and then they just ram some really cool new dude in, and I'm just like, I'm down for this too. It's just been really refreshing.
That's awesome. Yeah. No, I definitely got to check it out. Like you said, you talk about Failsafe for like a year now, so I gotta go at least read that. You know, give it a chance. And I love Zdarsky. These really become. Again, up there on my list of favorite artists.
So happy with his run on Captain America so far.
It's been really good. Yeah. Okay, my number 2. It kind of came out of nowhere, and I was just like, you know, what is a comic? Like you mentioned, like every time it comes out, I'm happy to see it. I'm gonna go check it out. And for me, at first it didn't register until I started thinking, like you said, thinking about the list. Like, okay, I made my list. What's going on there? And this one, I was like, you know what? I do really enjoy this, and all of them were very consistent. Good time, and you know, solid art. Writing is, we'll talk about that in a second, but like it's Jeff on Marvel Unlimited by Kelly Thompson and Guri Huru.
Oh boy,
I know. So okay, let me just say it.
You need some splaining.
I know. I think for me it was like I said, my biggest issue with comic books this year is felt very inconsistent. Like you'd have some episodes that were good and some issues that were wrong. It's Jeff, which is a fun little comic that you'd get on Marvel Unlimited. You scroll past like, oh, look at Jeff, what is he getting into now? And I think it really helps that like Marvel Rivals has like just skyrocketed Jeff to stardom, and like they've really just doubled down of like what a cute little guy he is, and like he interacts with all these different characters in the Marvel universe. There's issues where he's with Doctor Strange, there's issues with he's with Captain America, and they all just like, oh hey Jeff buddy, how's it going? Meanwhile he's like eating somebody, you know. And there's a couple issues he gets like the Venom symbiote and like all this crazy it's just a fun little comic book. And like I never thought, like I always assumed it would just be like a fun little thing in the background, but when I really thought about like what was very consistent throughout the year of good times, it's Jeff by Kelly Thompson. And like I said, Kelly Thompson, there's almost no dialogue in this. Type of, there's literally the only time.
How could there be?
Exactly.
It's Jeff.
The only time there's dialogue is when a superhero is like, "Oh, hey Jeff, how's it going?" That's the only time there's dialogue. But like Kelly Thompson, like because she's able to work with the artist and like figure out like these scenarios that are just fun and entertaining, and it really like it's definitely leans more towards like Saturday newspaper comic strip type of thing. But I don't know, I thought it was really fun, and I was like, it brings a smile to my face every single time I read it.
That's all that really again, like when it comes down to it, it's like, what are you looking forward to picking up or looking at every time, or in the case of like a short run of something, like did you tear through it?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the sign that either the writing was really good or the art was really good, or in most cases both.
Exactly. What is, however, a side note on this, so it is an Infinity comic, which is a thing that they do on Marvel Limited, where you just scroll, you don't go panel to panel, you go scroll up. What's your opinion on Infinity comics? Like, are you big, like, whatever?
Haven't really looked at them. Yeah.
Okay. I know, because Ultimate Spider-Man sometimes is Infinity comic format, and I like just being able to scroll, like, it kind of flows better than when you have to click all over the panels and stuff
I like the clicking of the panels, especially the zooming in on the certain panel. Yeah. I don't know, I find just the focus is really nice that it brings it up, like, but I like the fact that they've got multiple ways, like if you like to look at the whole page, you can look at the whole page. It's very much the same as DC Infinite. It does the same thing, and it's very smart, because it's like if you like that more focused view of what you're reading at that second, you can do that, or you can look at it on a bigger scale. It's however you like to enjoy it.
I think I think you're saying it kind of depends on how they structure it. Like when It's Jeff was made to be an Infinity comic, so it flows that way. Whereas like Ultimate Spider-Man is traditional panel, so it doesn't flow as well. There's a lot of like blank space randomly, but So anyway, I was just curious because it made me think of what you thought about. But that was my number 2. So we're at your number 1, Dave.
Number 1.
I have no idea what you're going to say. I have no idea what you're going to say.
You do.
No.
The artist is George Corona.
Okay.
The writer is Daniel Warren Johnson.
Okay, yeah.
Transformers.
Yes. Okay, I could have guessed this.
I don't know what happened to me. Transformers is the bomb. Johnson kills it with every book that I've read. I just enjoy such a refreshing, grittier take on Transformers. The story that's been told, how many, like 70 different times, 70 different ways. But they just, for whatever reason, this Energon universe, man, it is like they're nailing it. They're cranking it out. Not enough people know about this stuff. Like whether it's Transformers or G.I. Joe or Void Rivals or like it's so good. It's entertaining. And I think it starts with like, you can take something that's Transformers and say like, that's like a kid's toy. But if you get that writer that just gets it and then makes it more grittier and realistic, and like Transformers just squishing human beings and having their arms ripped off and holes blown in them and stuff, like it's just so good. And I'm so excited because the run for Johnson is ending. And Kirkman's taking over. Oh. And Dan Mora from Superman and the current Justice League is coming over to do the art, and I'm so stoked.
Yeah, that's gonna be sick.
Because love Dan Mora's art, and I'm very curious to see how Kirkman does, because he's currently writing The Void Rivals, and which almost made my list.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
I mean, we said this last episode, again, I'm keep pushing it, but like Transformers make good comics for some reason.
It's a great comic. It's a great comic. It's entertaining, it flows fast, there's not like a super amount of dialogue. All your favorite Transformers are in there. It's just great. Yeah. It's just such a good story, and it's got a little more gritty realism.
Oh yeah, and like the artwork, like you're saying, really matches the grittiness that Warren Johnson's been pushing.
And it doesn't matter if it's there have been a couple different artists that have worked on it, and it doesn't matter which one they have that's in, just gets the theme. Yeah,
the couple things I'll say, because I agree it's a really good series, is Daniel Warren Johnson is never afraid to throw suplex in there. That's my number one thing. Like he's written some wrestling comics, and it's like, damn, you can do a suplex, man. Like it's so good.
Yeah.
And 2, I think the other nice thing is Transformers. One of the biggest debates is always the balance between the robots and the humans.
Yes.
Like how you, because that was the issue with Michael Bay. Sometimes he'd push the humans and it's like nobody cares, man.
Yeah.
But I think he gets a really good balance of like these robots have their own thing going on, the humans have their own issues coming on, and then when they come together, it doesn't like distract from either one. They really meld together well.
Well, like, and when they introduce Ultra Magnus,
yeah,
and like he's suffering from basically like PTSD. And it's like, so that you're taking some of those gritty, like these guys have been in a war on Cybertron for however long,
yeah,
right? I almost feel stupid talking about this in the sense it's Transformers,
yeah.
But it's just like he takes a lot of those gritty real world things and he puts it in there, whether it's the death of a family member or PTSD from a war that's been going on forever or losing a combat buddy. Like it just feels. Like every time one of these, and there's a lot of them, Transformers gets like blown apart. Like you actually feel like, oh my god,
yeah.
Like what did they just do?
Yeah,
it's so good.
Somehow he humanizes these
he
transforming
does.
robots.
Yeah,
like, it's crazy.
It's been so good.
Yeah. No, I'm very excited to keep reading. I only read number 2 this year, and it was just I want to get number 3. I want to keep going. Like it's good stuff.
So I'm up to 4, and and I think the transition comes on number 5 to Kirkman and
I'm curious to see how the transition goes because Kirkman's good, but Daniel Warren Johnson, man, I wonder what
he's killing.
He's so good.
So good.
Okay, my number 1, and this one, I was reading it all year, and it was good, but like it wasn't until I sat down and went like, okay, what was the comic that really wowed me this year on a consistent level? Because again, the issue was there's some comics that would blow me away, but then the next issue was kind of nothing. But the one that like was like, wow, this is cool. It's different. It's talking about things that are really like, especially nowadays, very prevalent. But it was The Ultimates by Denis Camp and Juan Ferrari.
Okay,
I think is how you pronounce it. But it's specifically basically when they go fight the Hulk. and everything after that was so cool because you have basically, and again, you gotta go read it, pause here, go read it, and then come back to me. But like the idea that they lost, but then the evil Mr. Doom from Mr. Fantastic time travels, blips them so that he can escape them. Iron Lad gets absolutely fucked up. They literally were gonna
you're all done.
They were all done. Like they were all gonna lose, and then they regroup and go like, dude, we're doing this wrong. Like we gotta fix our shit out. And I think and then they brought in like Luke Cage. Dude, Ultimate Luke Cage was so cool.
He was pretty cool.
And then like they bring in all these like they start going like, no, we gotta actually become a rebel movement. We gotta actually become like a network of sabotage and like how are we gonna take them out? Especially if we have a time limit of the Maker's gonna come back, we have to get our shit together. And I really think that like really kickstarted this series. Like the beginning of it was just kind of like getting the team together, and then once they got their ass handed to them by fucking Ultimate Hulk, it just went off from there and like became this really cool series of like rebellion and like what does it mean to like, and now you have Iron Lad in like multiple personas, robot brain type of thing, and like it just
hive
so cool.
mind.
Hive mind. The only thing downside of it I'll say is like I wish other characters were also a little bit more different. Like I wish Captain America was a little bit more different. I wish Thor was a little bit more different, but like the rest of them are different enough to really blow your mind, right? So
surprisingly in that series I really enjoyed the Iron Fist issue. When they introduced Ultimate Iron Fist, it was just different, and I don't know. I just enjoyed it and was very much like, oh, I can't wait till he gets in there, and hopefully he goes at it with Hulk or something. Like, it was just get wild,
Dude,
wild.
Ultimate Hulk and all his Gamma people are fucking terrifying. Like every time they pop
There's
on the
not
screen,
too many groups in those comics that isn't terrifying.
Oh, true. All the evil guys.
Yeah,
like
they're the worst versions of themselves.
Yeah, again, Rasputins are terrifying. The Sunspot's dad and holy shit, dude. Like, so I don't know how Ultimate End is gonna wrap this all up. Like I don't know. It's crazy. Like I'm so excited to see and that's happening soon. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, coming up January.
Yeah. But what's crazy, Dave? So that's the end of our list. Those are our top 5. But I don't think I had any mainline stories going on. I don't think you had a single Marvel.
I didn't have a single Marvel.
Wow. How does that feel? How do you feel?
I feel disappointed.
Really?
Yeah, as a like I'm a primarily Marvel fan.
Yeah.
Disappointed because they've just done not a great job of putting talent on books and telling. More importantly, like you can have a new writer and a new artist come in and just wow you.
Yep.
That happens, but. Especially on your books that matter, like your Amazing Spider-Mans, like your Avengers,
X-Men.
you know, all of those need that writer artist combo to some extent, and you need to tell a good story.
Yeah.
And I do have hope going into the next year. Like, I really am enjoying what I'm seeing out of Revelation.
Yeah.
By Jed McKay. It's been really intriguing, really interesting, and he doesn't seem to be holding back because it's, you know, it's the future, so he's just killing people left, right, and center, which is great. But yeah, to this point, it's been like, like there were two things that just about made the list, or well, three that just about made the list, but I couldn't put them ahead of some of the other stuff.
But I think that's what, I think that's a key point to point out is the fact that like there's so many other series out there that are just like, you know, just killing it, and they're going for something crazy. Like Transformers, nobody thought would be like one of the best comic book series of the year, but it's just, somebody's just going for it, right? Yeah. And I feel like Marvel has really played it safe in 2025. I feel like ever since post Krakoa, they were just like, oh, we tried something new, people didn't like it, let's just reset the whole Marvel universe back to zero, and like the same old. Spider-Man's the same way, same old. You know, I feel like there's so many characters. Hulk's just been roaming the countryside for 50 years at this point. Like, I feel like Marvel needs to kick in the pants to like really get to the next level. And I do agree. And the things they've announced in 2026 sound cool.
Yeah, and even some of the stuff that they got to do, like they don't have to reinvent the wheel like to such a degree that people are going like, I don't really like this because they don't recognize the character that you're writing.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I have a lot of hope for like Joshua Williamson, who's currently writing like G.I. Joe comics and stuff, him coming over and doing Iron Man, because he's taking it back to that espionage-y, that feel of what Iron Man comics were. But he's you know, hopefully going to put that twist on it to make it feel different, but at the same time comfortable and familiar.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's the tricky thing with some of these characters. It's not like you're learning who Spider-Man is for the first time. So I mean, yeah, they've got a tall order, but that's why you have to put those really giant writers on there, the ones that can handle that kind of okay, I know I've got to say somewhat traditional, but I've got to be bold enough to make this different.
Yeah. What's the hook? What's the hook?
Yeah.
So those are our top 5 lists, but we do have a bunch of honorable mentions again to go check out. They just didn't make the list. Do you want to just blitz through your list, or do you want to go back and forth?
That will go back and forth.
Okay.
The first one is controversial.
Okay.
It may be controversial.
Maybe.
One World Under Doom.
You're out of your mind. Okay. Explain this to me.
Okay, explain it to you. What sabotaged this? You have. I think the art was amazing. R.B. Silva was amazing.
I'll give you that.
Killed it. The writing, the story of what was being told was a good story, but I don't know what the hell happened with the launch of this thing, because it was like introduced as like, this is the next, like, this is gonna hurt the Marvel universe kind of thing. Okay, I'm buying in. There's Doom, got a good artist. Writer's a little suspect because I haven't really seen him write something this big before.
Yeah.
But I thought the message and the stuff that was happening in it made sense. They dropped the ball with this so bad. So bad. Number one, it should have been like 6 issues, not 9.
Yep.
It shouldn't have taken you 12 months to put out 9 issues.
Yeah.
An event like this shouldn't just be 1 or 2 mentions in the regular running comics when it's been running all year, and then nobody else mentions it after that. Like, it was so poorly constructed within the Marvel Universe. I think if you take this as an isolated story, slap it in a graphic novel and put it off to the side, and then you just read it as a like, oh, what if Doctor Doom did this? It's so much better.
Yeah.
And that's what killed it for me, is I kept wanting to go like, I like the story, I like the message that's being sent here, like very much like Justice. I came in and solved all your problems, right? You don't have any problems anymore. Well, how did you do this? What's the trick? Oh, and for issues, there's no trick here. There's no trick here. And then you get that trade-off of like, he's siphoning the life force off of people from his home country to power his abilities. But they volunteered for it, but it's like one of those like, does the weight of the many outweigh the few? And that argument, like it was, I thought it was constructed well. It was just the delivery of how shitty it was put out. Too many issues, dragged out too long, and for something that you said was supposed to be a big impactful thing that maybe lasted a month or two in all the other comics, just completely disappeared. And I think that's what killed it, is you went into all these like side comics and all this other stuff. They just ruined it by doing what they did.
Yeah, you know what? Now that you've explained it like that, I
Yeah.
completely agree. Like, I bet you if you do, like, once they come out with a trade paperback and you read it all at once, maybe it'll be good.
Yeah.
And you don't calculate the impact on the rest of the universe. Maybe
Yeah.
it'll be good. Because I agree with you. When it first was announced and it first started coming out, it was supposed to be like, whoa, look at this thing.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, what's happening? You know?
Yeah.
It just became a nothing. Speaking of another crossover series for Marvel, shout out to Imperial. Specifically, though, issue 2. So issue 2 was so, and I mentioned this again last issue, but I love Red Rising. It's this epic sci-fi space opera. You know, you have all these factions fighting together. Imperial 2 give me that vibes of all these, you know, you had the Hulks, you had Black Panther, Kree, all coming together to do this massive space battle, and then you had these twists, and then you had this, you know, giant explosion of the space portal, and it's like, what's happening? It was so balls to the walls action, and I think it was balls to the walls space action that you don't normally see with Marvel. Like, Marvel's very hit and miss when they actually want to go to space, and this was probably the best Marvel space thing I've seen in a long time. It was super good.
Yeah.
The rest of Imperial, we'll see how it ends and kind of goes from there. I've read a few of them, but so it's I haven't finished it yet, so we'll see how it ends. But number 2 was really good.
Yeah. It was to your point, one of the best space galaxy things that they've done in a long time. For me, again, going back to Marvel, is Amazing Spider-Man.
Okay.
I was very excited to hear Joe Kelly was going to be on it because I thought, hey, good name. Pep Larraz, awesome.
Yep.
I felt like the first storyline was great.
Yep.
And then they went into this secondary storyline that I have kind of a split feeling on because I hate when they take a street level character and they put him in space in these weird situations that just don't make sense. And I mean, I'm being patient. I'm sure there's a plan here, but in that regard, I like the flip side of what they've done because Peter Parker's not on the planet. Spoiler alert. So who's filling in his shoes? Norman Osborn.
Yeah,
of
that's
all bloody
cool.
people,
Yeah.
right? So like that part of the story has been really interesting to see how he's trying to be Peter, but every time he gets in a fight, he obviously fails because he just has no qualms about beating the shit out of you, and it's just so different. And it just so I've been happy with that part. Kind of iffy on the space part. We'll see where it goes, but that was why it didn't quite make the list. It was like great start. I'm not really feeling the second part.
No, that's exactly how I feel too. I thought the first arc was so good, and then the second they introduced that interdimensional warrior, I was like, okay, guys, go back to what you're doing before.
Like,
go back to what you're doing before. But I'm curious to see where they're going. I'm gonna, you know, like you said, it's a good team. John Romita Jr. is on there too. Like, we'll see where it goes and go from that. Speaking of Spider-Man, I also had Ultimate Spider-Man as my honorable mention, mainly because I'm so delayed in reading it. I only read the like when he gets kidnapped by Kraven. Beginning of this year, and that was probably the best arc in Ultimate Spider-Man, I would argue. My problem is after that arc, it kind of just starts spinning its wheel. Nothing's happened, and like the fact that like they really don't address the fact like that his son just found the Venom suit, and it's just like, okay, cool, see you later. And he has like a Catwoman's or Black Cat's his girlfriend. They just really don't talk about it. It's like I feel like you guys should be talking about this. I think my biggest issue with Ultimate Spider-Man is it time jumps a month every issue. Yeah. And I feel like there's some moments where you needed to do that, like, let's delve more into this one spot, but they just don't. They just jump, they go,
I think that's traditionally a Hickman issue, is that he's not really great on the big scale of what's going on. Great ideas, great. It's the interpersonal stuff down in the nitty gritty that he doesn't. I don't think he delivers.
Which is funny you say that, because I thought the issue 12, I think it was, because it happened in Christmas, where it's just his family talking, but you don't know it's not Peter. I thought that was a great issue, and there was no action in that issue. But then again, for some reason, he just falls off the cliff after that.
No, that's to me, it's like I'm not coming to the comic looking for that next. Like, what's going on in his life? I'm just like, okay, go beat the crap out of somebody, please.
Yeah, but I will say, artwork's still amazing. Yeah, still good. But yeah, next one.
For me, Rook Exodus.
Okay.
Jeff Johns, Fabok, ex-Batman artist, one of the better ones. It was really interesting. I love the art. The premise was interesting. There was only one book with, I think, 5 or 6 issues. Not sure where it's going.
Yeah.
Past the that first arc, but it had me intrigued, and I like Jeff Johns' writing. Just didn't have enough. Just didn't have enough to get me to push it into that upper. But I'm very much looking forward to, like, if he does book 2 and kind of continues doing it. I'm very curious to see where this goes.
Yeah,
because I thought the premise was really interesting.
I 100% agree. You lent it to me. I thought it was great. The one thing I'll say is, man, those character designs are so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like, they look like
The
just
masks.
bad. Yeah, the masks. They just look such badass Power Rangers.
All of them.
All of them. Like,
I'm
all
a
of them.
boar.
I know.
Like,
the boar
you can make a
one.
kangaroo seem like
menacing. Like, it was
menacing.
so good. Like, yeah, I definitely recommend it. It was really good. But yeah, like you said, not good enough to make the list, but still a solid read. And Jeff Johns always does that. Another one I'll throw out there is, I went back in time. I have 2 of them that actually went kind of older comics. One that I heard a lot about over the years and I just never got around to reading. I finally read it, was The Visions. And I can't remember who wrote it. It was either Tom Taylor or the other Tom. I can't remember his name. But from 2015, it was just a really interesting, like, I think it was only 5 or 6 issues. But it was just like, what if the Vision had a family and he tried to live in, suburbia and everything. And it was really interesting. And like, it had some mystery to it. It had some tension with, like, okay, what's actually happening here. You had a lot of the history of the Vision come up, and like he has to deal with that and stuff like that. And if you liked WandaVision, like this, it takes a lot from WandaVision, WandaVision takes a lot from this storyline and goes from there. So I actually went back in time and read it. It was actually pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Next one for me would be Void Rivals.
Yeah.
Which was again hadn't read enough of it, but it was one of those books where I just like found myself reading it more than I expected, because I was like, I don't know why I like it, but it's pulling me in, and I think it's just Kirkman's writing, like the way he establishes characters, and you start to get attached to them, I guess, to some degree, and there's and then of course it's in the Energon universe. There's interactions with the Transformers, to some degree. It's just compelling enough that I've gone like, okay, I'm gonna read the next one and just keep chewing through it and just see where this goes, because it was compelling. It was one of those ones I just read through. It didn't quite have enough to get it into the next category. It's something I'm very much looking forward to continuing.
Yep. Again, sticking on my trend of older comic books, I finally got around to reading Daredevil Born Again. I finally read it. Finally read it. The show came out. You were like, you got to read it just to see how it relates to it. What I'll say is, like, man, yeah, I can see why it is like a quintessential Daredevil story. Just Kingpin fucking with him, so much. His life going to hell. Like, it's a really good story, and I see why they're kind of bringing it back in the show and stuff like that. The only issue I have with it is it's very 80s sometimes.
Oh, very much
like,
so.
Like, every first 2 or 3 pages, he talks about his backstory. And it's like, bro, I know. Like, move on. And
Say it again. Who is this?
Yeah, who is this? Who are you? How do you, like, you got blind? Yeah. What's happening? Like, every single, and I get it. It was just like, that was the time. It was a monthly or whatever weekly comic. They had to get new people. But it was like, oh my gosh, like, we get it, dude. Yeah. It was so funny. But no, it is a quintessential comic. Highly recommend. Check it out. But yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those stories where you have the identity of the superhero leaked to the bad guy that was just done so right, and there's been so many epic ball drops of that happening with other characters. Like, this is just a great blueprint of somebody going like, oh, now I know, and I'm just going to slowly pick away at every facet of your life and just ruin you to the point of nothing. Yeah, it's a good story, but to your point, it aged.
It's very 80s. Yeah.
Next one for me was, again, Energon Universe kicking is G.I. Joe.
Dude, they really got you.
They got me so hard. Joshua Williamson, so far, so looking forward to seeing him on Iron Man. But it's just, it was an action-packed move forward. Again, telling the same story to some degree, but just changing things enough that it makes it kind of fresh for somebody that played with the toys when they originally came out, watched all the cartoons. It was good. It was just one of those ones that you roll through it really quick. It was entertaining. I read the Cobra Commander book, the standalone. That was, I would say, it was even better than the first G.I. Joe one. I've got the second one coming. Like, the Energon universe and what they're doing, like, is just so good. It's entertaining. It keeps you entertained. There's funny in it. There's serious in it. There's a little bit of everything. It's just good writing, and the art for some reason, like, even though I wouldn't pitch a lot of these artists as like top-notch artists, their art fits the book.
Mm-hmm.
And if it does, you're gold.
Yeah. Exactly. No, man, the Undead Universe, man, they're killing it.
Yeah.
My last honorable mention I'll throw out there is we talked about Marvel kind of being mid. We talked about X-Men specifically. We talked about that all year being mid.
Yeah.
But the one X-Men book I will say was actually pretty good was Jed MacKay X-Men.
Yeah.
Arguably the only X-Men book. You know,
Absolutely,
the
only
other
X-Men
two
book.
have no idea what they're doing. I think for me, like Jed MacKay, like you said, great ideas, but still really sticks to the core of the characters. And like, especially like, again, I'm the number one Cyclops hater. This is the first time I've ever liked Cyclops.
Yeah.
Like something about the way Jed MacKay, the fact that he's just like, you know what? I've been basically a child soldier since I was 15. All my friends are dead. My girlfriend's in space. Like he's been through so much shit. Yeah. And he just goes up
I've been dead.
I've been dead so many times. I've been evil so many times. And like the fact that he just goes up to like the ONE guy and goes like, fuck you, man. I don't give a shit. Like my favorite issue was when he initiates the Hellion Protocol. And so he's talking to the government agent, but in the background it just shows his people just blowing up facilities. I was like, this is fucking rad, dude. Like this is the best Cyclops has ever been. The biggest issue with it is they cannot stop fucking with his story. Like they keep interrupting his story with random bullshit. The whole hunt for Xavier was stupid. Nobody needed that. This Age of Revelation, we'll see what happens, come out of it. But yeah, I think just let Jed MacKay cook. And the other thing is the artist keeps changing like every issue, and it's like what's happening?
I found with that one, what I liked about it was they had Stegman on it first, and then Diaz was coming in to fill in, and their art styles were so similar. Yeah. And I actually got to the point where Diaz was kind of drawing it more, and I like Diaz. Yeah, I like the work that he does. He's actually going to be coming over to do Captain America here to fill in. But I think I agree with you. It's the only X-Men book worth reading.
It's the only one. Yeah.
Outside of like, I've heard a lot of good things about Phoenix.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Whatnot. But as far as the X books,
on Earth. Yeah. But like, it's just so funny to me that like just let Jed MacKay do whatever you want with the X-Men. Get rid of everybody else. Give him the book, and he can do whatever he wants. And don't interrupt him with random crossover shit. Like it's so annoying. Yeah.
I have one last throw.
Okay, last one.
Which is the Ultimate Universe.
Okay.
This is more specific for me, Spider-Man, but it started with such a bang.
Yeah.
And then it feels like a lot of the comics outside of the Ultimates, which has been very refreshing pretty much every issue. And again, I know a lot of people, like I see a lot of hate for the Ultimates on various social media platforms. Yeah, that just don't like it. They think it's garbage, blah, blah, blah. I think it's refreshing. I think it's been the most bold one out of all of them, barring aside the violence and crap out of Wolverine. But it started off with a bang, and then it started to peter out about halfway through, and now I just feel it's on its like death legs, just trying to make the last crawl to the ultimate end. Yeah. So, and hopefully the ultimate end like just sends it off with a bang. Yeah. And I hope for that, because that might change the whole perspective of the entire thing. But if it just goes out with a whimper, number one, it wouldn't surprise me, because that just seems to be what Marvel does. Yeah. I keep referring back to the Absolute in comparison, and I'm like, they seem to have an overall plan there from day one. This KO thing seems like, at first I heard it was like, oh, okay, we're like Mortal Kombating superheroes. But at the end of the day, it's actually been pretty cool. Yeah. What they're doing. So it's like they always seem to have, especially when it comes to these like spin-off alternate reality stuff, they just seem to have a better grip on it. This one, I just hope they wrap it up well. I hope it is such a gangbuster end that you're just like, oh my god, this is amazing, because that might drag it right back up again. But right now, it's just whimpering to the finish line. It's
crazy how good the beginning of the Ultimate Universe was, and then where they are right now. It's like, come on, what happened, guys? Like, but like you said, very excited to see what they do with it. As long as like they just let Hickman do whatever he wants and cooks as hard as he wants. Yeah, I think we can get something cool. But yeah, we'll see what happens next year. By the time we get here next year, we'll see where it goes. Yeah. But yeah, those were our top 5. Those were our honorable mentions. Any final thoughts, Dave, for the year?
No, it was a very interesting year for just a lot of, I would find for myself, like independence or not off the beaten path comic books that are well written and well drawn. Never expected a lot of the stuff that I read that I would be that entertained by it, especially past stuff that has always been my go-tos. And they're all worth, like, Image right now, I have to say, like, as far as like independent stories and stuff like that, it's not necessarily superhero comics, but just what they're doing over there with some of the stuff is just amazing. Like, they're doing so good. There's ones we hadn't even mentioned, like Geiger, and like they've just got so much. And it was very refreshing. And I think my curiosity going into next year, can DC and Marvel
catch back up,
amp their game up?
No, I 100% agree. If you're a comic book reader and you've been kind of disappointed with Marvel and DC, branch out, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good stuff out there. Lots. You just got to give them a try and see what they're. But that's us for the end of 2025.
It's a long year.
It's a long year. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Make sure to follow us wherever you found us. Make sure to let us know what your favorite comics of the year are, what you recommend, and we'll see you all next time.